What is up, everybody? Davis, Maddock, and I are back for one last drafters stream. Maybe we do one next week, but probably not. Davis, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. I've succumbed to the sickness. It's just like if I'm not drafting, I feel like I'm wasting time. Like if I'm getting sick of it, there's 8 more days. Like I can hold out.
So
like I can just power through.
Here's where I am. I ordered a new 49-inch curved screen monitor that is going to get here today. So I've been holding off on my last, I think I need like 80 more of the DraftKings $5 ones. So I'm going to literally try to 10 table those. Because I want to spend as least amount of time doing those DK ones as possible. But I just need to get the volume in and try not to auto. Same with drafters where I'm at a better number there. I'm at 90. I want to get to 150. People who want to draft with us today, do not jump in the draft right away. We're going to look at my exposure list and go through some hits and misses of the portfolio and get some of Davis's reactions before we jump right into the draft. Davis, how many more, do you have it mapped out how many more drafts you're doing, or is it just balls to the wall? Let's see how many I can get in.
So my plan is to wrap up. I have 14 left in Best Ball Mania 3.
Easy.
My plan is to probably get that done by today's Wednesday, get that done by Friday.
I think that's a mistake, man, because I think this weekend, with it being Labor Day, it could be the softest drafts we've seen all.
Yeah, this is your whole theory. Your whole theory is that there are GTO times of the day to draft or whatever. And so what is the average expected value of one of these drafts? $25.
Hey man, it's thin, but I try to attack every for people wondering, giving you a bit of behind the scenes. Davis and I and Kyle Dvorchak have been going at it about what time and when to draft our FFPC main event. I was like, hey, let's do it right now. We got information. We don't need these fish to get content creators to tell them this guy got cut or this is how it played out. I don't want any of that. I feel good about my takes right now. Davis and Kyle wanted a convenient time for them to draft, which heavy eye roll from me, but we capitulated. We are doing next Tuesday. Don't know if that will be streamed or pre-recorded. Maybe pre-recorded so we can more freely talk about our thoughts. But what do you think about all that, Davis?
Well, what I think is that you are missing the forest for the trees, where the idea should just be to do as many drafts as possible and not sweat the 3 to 5% swings in ADP or in expected value either way. And the idea should just be to do a lot of drafts.
Well, I mean, to be clear, I'm going to max I will max drafters. I will max underdog BBM3. I will max DK $5. Main event, I do not want to have $50,000 of drafts in. So I'm not going to max my main event. So that's more about choosing when and where is the best time. And I don't know, maybe daytime is some dude trying to squeeze
I'm telling you the daytime drafts are good because you're going to get boomers in there during the daytime.
That makes sense, but bro, I promise you people are literally falling asleep in these nighttime drafts. The amount of times you catch someone who fully autos a draft is higher than you would think. They're having some beers.
We did one. I did one with Pat and Pete and Gretch the other day where we had an auto.
Yeah, and I mean I got some action down early on those, the slows, the 4th of July. So I got some teams from them. I have probably one of the only shares of Alvin Kamara in the I have a start that went Mark Andrews and Swift, and then I got Kamara in the 3rd at the 112. That felt pretty good. But let's jump into the exposures. Let's look at some of them on drafters and get some of your knee-jerk reactions. Definitely some big hits in my portfolio I feel good about. Some smaller misses. Any particular player names you want to see, or should I just kind of scroll through this list?
I mean, Fant is terrible, obviously.
Yeah, Fant is the guy, I feel really good about the first Quez Watkins, whatever.
Well,
Obviously,
Hassan, this is where you and I differentiate big philosophically. Is you're taking huge stands on these guys late, and I am dart throwing on guys late, which is like
well, I
obviously.
also have Hilliard, to be clear. Like, I also a 13% Hilliard. Like,
Yeah, but
that's
it's
way over the field.
Julius Chestnut is the second running back there.
Yeah, that is a possibility. I am.
It's like, and I'm not. I don't mean for people to think I'm like overly criticizing you, but and to be honest,
I don't take it that way either.
so like if Hassan Haskins is this year's Eli Mitchell, it's like you've dusted me off, right? So like the risk reward is totally worth it, and maybe I need to examine this more next season. But I tend to be more kind of what I do. And I've talked about this with Corain is like every week a new guy becomes your 18th round guy, right? So
To
like
be clear, I'm the same way. It's just with drafters, I did a lot of my action when I had COVID, I think.
Sure.
And so my flavors of like you could like Brian Robinson, I still feel good about this bag. I think he's playing this year. I have no news on that. I think he's playing.
Well,
But
he was at the team facility yesterday. It's out. So I immediately started taking Gibson ahead of ADP after
and
the
I think
news.
that's still smart to do.
Well, they start out playing the Jaguars and the Lions, so I think it could be bad long term, but I might get rewarded points wise to begin the season.
Yeah, and I mean, what's cool, guys, is you should be looking at this my ADP versus ADP column here. Like, I have some dubs. I got 12% dubs at 191. That feels pretty good.
I had when Dubs when like he started rising, I had like 15% dubs, and now I have 8% dubs because I'm not fucking taking him in the 10th round. There's just no way.
I have in some higher stakes drafts where I just don't want to be buried if he's the guy, and like we literally have no leans. Still
Well, big difference between BBM3 with 400,000 teams and I mean, I would take dubs in the ADP snapshot contest, like I did 15 Pomeranians on Monday or whatever.
This feels good.
Yes, yeah, great
at pick 57. We got a sharp comment the other week on our drafters stream that I wanted to bring up where a guy said, and I don't agree with this whole point, but he basically said, like, feels like drafters is the sharpest place to draft at this point in time because since it's not as liquid as the other companies, the ADPs are really slow to change. And that is true.
Yeah.
Like, I think drafters is sharp, but like there are some guys who their ADPs are still not caught up. And so, with me saying it right now, it's not doing me any favors. Like Christian Watson, a bit of a miss here. Trey Lance, obviously a hit on ADP. I got some bags on some guys who are questionable. TDP, Jameson Williams.
The thesis behind the TDP play is still there.
Yeah. It's interesting. These three guys are right next to each other.
They kept 5 running backs, though. The 49ers did.
Amon-Ra feels good. Brandon Ayuk feels like some big hits in ADP reasons. Do you have any sweeping takeaways from yesterday? Like, it's not the real cut down day for anyone wondering. Like, Tuesday is when we'll get the full rosters. Like, there's still some guys like Rojo still could get cut. I don't think that's happening, but it could. But do you have any takeaway? Like, it doesn't really seem like we got that much actionable info.
No, the most actionable. I actually think the most actionable thing, and I'm not even just pumping my own bags here, but the Patriots only kept 3 running backs and 4 wide receivers. Galaxy brain, and feel free to tell me I'm an idiot. So they kept 3 running backs, but one of them is Ty Montgomery, and they only kept 4 wide receivers. What if they're playing Ty Montgomery in his old role that he played for the Packers, where he was like the 3rd down back, but also a slot wide receiver? To me, it the way that they're doing this, and they're probably going to get one of Hines or whatever on, or not Hines, Harris on the practice squad or whatever. I think they feel good about Ramondre. I think that's one of the I think they're just feeling really good about Ramondre, basically.
I have not been chasing Ramondre into the 8th round. You can see I have quite a bit in the 120s of him across all sites. Damian Harris is a guy I haven't taken as he falls. Ty Montgomery is not a name I've clicked. Definitely not on the sites where he's listed as a wide receiver, which I believe he is on DK, but on drafters, he's listed as a running back. And I was drafting Ty Montgomery last year, kind of like the same play. And maybe it is a better play this year. But, part of me thinks, hey, the Patriots want to run the ball. They're a team we want running backs from. Part of me thinks they could be terrible. And like all these running backs could flop. Like Ramondre, I think is good. I had 23% in BBM3 last year. I was just like, I don't care. The popular narrative is like, you can't draft rookie running backs with the Patriots. And I just think all narratives like that are stupid.
I mean, Pierre Strong is probably that guy from.
Well, he did not
last
look
year.
good in preseason, I believe, right?
But they were saying he looked good in training camp. So it's like, how many snaps did he even play in preseason?
People want to see Zeke from me. Pretty low. I think he's better on drafters too.
Better pick. Better pick on
Montgomery,
drafters.
also pretty low. Shakir, I'm gonna guess is pretty low.
I like Shakir.
9%. Kelsey at 13%. Probably a better play on drafters too than BBM3. Slightly. Where we don't have to worry about breakdown on drafters. Cordell Patterson, you can see like, again, big bag on him because I don't have to worry about him being old and breaking down. Like
old guys are old guys and 20-man rosters where like if he gets hurt in the second half of the season or whatever, it just matters incrementally less.
All right, name a player or two more, Davis, and then we'll jump into the draft. Anyone
What is your elite quarterback exposed? Like let's look Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, et cetera, et cetera.
Can I just sort it by quarter? Oh, here we go, quarterback. So here it is. I'm pretty even on underdog. I think because I've done a lot of drafts with you, I don't get much Mahomes. One on Mahomes. That's not how I feel about it. I have, to be clear, I have big bags on Mahomes, Lamar, in higher stakes leagues. So looks like I've played like some of the elites and a lot of the late guys. Not the cutest group.
Yeah, Wentz. That's very good Lance bags.
Yes, definitely big on the Lance, big on the Josh Allen too, which is we'll see how that plays out. I think he should be QB1 again. People wanted to say London. Definitely have a lot of London across sites. And there's some players that I like, and I'm surprised that I'm a little light on. Like Tony is a guy, I think it's just because his ADP jumped real quick. Anyways, pretty cool peek at the exposures. I'll release a video for my underdog ones. Davis, let's jump in this. Are you ready?
I am ready. And I love that people are chasing the overlay here.
We got 4 more.
Oh,
Eric, Gabe Davis was like top of the exposure list, so rewind the video a little bit. Did you get in?
It logged me out.
No.
Are you in already?
Yeah, let's do another one.
Okay.
Let's either do another one or you and I can split this, and I can.
Sure.
Let's
we've done these all separately. Let's do this one. Let's do this one
together. Putting the minds together. We pulled the 107. It's a 95 for me, so I'll just send you this team in a tweet after, so we know.
Yeah, that works for me. It'll be interesting. I mean, this will be a good trial run because we are gonna be drafting a team together with Kyle next week.
Absolutely, good trial run. This is a good question, Saga Pants. I'm trying to figure that out. I have 2 weddings, week 1 and week 2 of NFL, so that's rough for starting the DFS. I'd be open to working with a company and getting hired by someone. I've not made any moves to make that happen, but we'll see. And I'm going to be firing in those DFS streets, and we'll see how the first month goes. If we torch off a bunch of money, maybe we scale back a little bit because I'm going to play that 4K Millie Maker and just try to run pure.
Gonna be firing at the Thunderdome and just being like, why am I not winning everything? My teams are so sharp.
And I would guess I have like a sharper edge to begin the season, just being in the best ball streets, like just play your best ball players.
You know, sometimes that can be it can kind of be the reverse where we're so wed into what we've been thinking of these players for 6 months, and sometimes the DFS bros who have been grinding Major League Baseball sims, you know, they come in and they just see the data and they're like, you know, why is player X chalk when he's got this like really questionable role or whatever?
Totally. Yeah, I could see having a fresh and also those guys have more data of like what historically has been good early. I don't know. I feel pretty good about the week 1 slate. It's always good when the Bills are off the main slate because it means I'm not doing 150 Josh Allen lineups. Makes me get a little bit more different.
I haven't even looked at anything for week 1. I know that Wandale is minimum salary and that Juju is like 5,200 or something.
Juju's 52.
And Mahomes is 7,500. So like my week 1.
Mahomes is 77. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, so like
CMC
that's obviously
80,
like
CMC
obviously
8,500.
like 5% on Mahomes in week 1 when everyone has spent all off season fucking blowing Justin Herbert is it's like feels like a good
and
spot.
the Cardinals could have the worst defense in the league. So, so guys, if you're not chasing the overlay, you're a fish. Promo code Cheslium or promo code Davis will get you up and running. And guys, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the weekends. We're at 900. I got that Overzet bump. He had me on. I'd like to go Eckler here.
Eckler, yeah.
All right. Easy.
We got a squirrely one in here. Joe Mixon 106.
Ooh, we like to see that. His second team too.
We do like, you know, it's just very important for us to chase all the EV that we can possibly chase, bud. Every time someone in your draft makes a bad pick, it's better for you, right?
Hey, absolutely.
You know, I'm wondering where you are at on this. I just am right now, I'm going into every draft trying to get Kyle Pitts. I've just decided I want Kyle Pitt. Like I want to end up, and I only have 14 more BBMs, but I'm just trying to smash Kyle Pitts in.
So this season, I had a big bag on Kyle Pitts last year, and maybe that's why I'm gun shy, because what I'm hearing is like literally everyone on Twitter, so like everyone being influenced by content creators loves Kyle Pitts too. So like contrarian brain a little bit is like, look, I can be different from sharp people by just literally drafting anyone but Kyle Pitts in the 3rd round. The other thing is Kyle Pitts can bury the field, but taking him could also bury you where you're missing out on that round 3 wide receiver
on AJ Brown, T Higgins, Michael Pittman.
Yeah, like you could be at like if Kyle Pitts averages 12 points per game, you are.
But the safety net though is that 12 points a game for a tight end is still pretty good. So you're in a lot of the time in 2v2s versus your opponent.
Fine, not for drafters though.
No, that's true. 100%. That's true. Yeah.
I would like to go Jones or Kamara.
Kamara.
All right.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about the suspension as much. I am a little bit more Jones over Kamara, but I'm cutting hairs there.
Yeah. And then we're going to take Kyle Pitts when he comes back around.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, it just seems like everyone is doing that, and I do believe a little.
Hey, make a note if this team binks, you owe me half of $250,000.
I'm gonna send you the team in the chat so we can look at it, and then we'll just know. Chesliam 94. Davis was born in 94, so good year for him.
Not true.
I know that's not true.
We're
the same age, brother. We're the same age.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I just turned 30, man. How fucking washed.
I'm 30 in October. I was gonna say something else. I don't even remember now about Pitts. I feel, but whatever. Love this start by us for drafters. I think this is how we should be doing it. And then sometimes sometimes in drafters, I like to have my flex filled by both wide receiver first, but also a running back I'm comfortable in the flex.
Yeah, you love to have a starting lineup. It's like your favorite thing.
Hey man, it's how these are built. I think on drafters.
Of course, I was inverted. Just smashed Kyle Pitts,
Yeah,
breaking
no,
our
I
hopes
like
and
it. Talk
dreams.
him up, make him on. Kyle Pitts over Mark Andrews is wrong.
No, it's not.
It's wrong, dude. Oh,
How many?
I
How
wanted to
many?
say this.
How many times do you think the Ravens are going to throw?
How many points did Delaney Walker score that Marcus Mariota season? Because
Like an insane amount. An
yeah, like
insane
that's
amount.
like if Kyle Pitts is just
It was like 13 and a half points per game on like a horrible offense, like a bad low volume
yeah,
offense.
so it could be like 16 and a half. But here's the thing is I think Drake London's really good at football.
But that to me is good for Pitts. That to
It's
me is
good for
good for
Pitts
Pitts.
yeah, no, it is good for Pitts. And that one preseason route, everyone's coming their pants over, like where he torched the corner.
Yeah,
Like against was that even a starter?
big Mike.
Big Mike, I love Big Mike, man. We're going for touchdowns. I like it.
Yeah. After I draft a couple teams
Favorite
with
rules here with some interesting info. Pitts player prop is 4.5 touchdowns, 900 receiving yards, and 65 receptions.
I would bet the over on 65 receiving yards, and I would where is that under on Mark Andrews available? I would like to go book that.
You'd like to book under which part are you
for Mark Andrews to get 80 receptions, Lamar's career high in passing attempts is in a full season is 376. He had 382 last year.
Counterpoint.
With their entire defense dusted.
Counterpoint. Maybe Rashad Bateman is not as good as everyone wants to believe, and Marquise Brown was really good. And it's like people are trying to convince themselves Isaiah Likely is the nuts. The running backs are hurt again.
What if I told you Devin Duvernay is the guy you need in Week 17?
Then I lose. Good game. Good year.
You really are not drafting Do you know about Duvernay, bro?
I generally don't draft the wide receivers from teams I think are going to throw like 3,500 yards over the course of a season.
But dude, so if you go back and look at some of these secondary shitty guys that they have had, and you put their stat line into one guy. So, like for example, if you put James Proche, Tylan Wallace, Nick Boyle, like if you put all their playing time into one guy because guys are not hurt, or even if you go back to Lamar's crazy season in 2019 and you just give that role to one guy, that guy is a smash. If you put Willie Snead, Seth Roberts, and Miles Boykin's snaps from 2019 together, that guy you want to have in fantasy.
Yeah, but last year it was okay. You want to go
Juju?
I'm Marquise.
No. Let's do Hollywood.
I am Marquise over Juju, but I like both, and I think Marquise, especially for drafters, I like him in all formats. To be clear, he's a guy I've usually just said I know better, and I take him over Waddle. I take him over McLaurin.
Taking these guys over Waddle is bad too. I think
Marquise over Waddle.
I mean that's fine, but McLaurin.
That with you. I mean, not that I need a bigger bet.
But I would book Waddle against Judy, Robinson, Cooks, and Deontay. I think.
Well, I don't take those guys over.
Okay, all right.
I just don't have that much Waddle in general, which could bury. I mean,
dude, do you like Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yes.
So Waddle was Amon-Ra St. Brown, but for 17 games instead of 6 games.
Well, to be clear,
he's younger, bro.
I liked Amon-Ra. It just seems like the market is deciding Waddle. Waddle could be a silent killer or I don't know.
How many rookie wide receivers do you think have ever even got 100 receptions, bro?
No, he's a beast, man, and he wins with speed. He was
He's also an insane route runner. I mean, he's just amazing.
Yeah,
my advice to everyone would be to take advantage of this dip of Waddle going down into the 4th round, because he was a 3rd round pick until his hamstring injury thing came up.
No, dude, he's going to the 5th sometimes. At some
I am smashing Jalen. I think Jalen Waddle. I think he could very reasonably outscore Tyreek if they both are healthy for 17 games.
That could happen. I don't disagree with you there.
We're going to get boxed out of the elite quarterbacks here.
That is fine. We can make up quarterback points on the field. and we don't need like Kyler is very. Do you not include Kyler in the elite tier?
No, let's go.
I would like to go Metcalf or Johnson and risk we get Kyler.
Well, we're not gonna get him. So
We
I will
would-
say Deontay.
We're not.
But we're gonna draft 3 quarterbacks.
These guys all are burning their team if they take a quarterback. These guys have no correlation. Like James Conner and Murray is very thin.
No, that is because the whole Connor thing is all about touchdown. I think he had 5 receiving touchdowns last year. It's not that thin.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen.
I mean, Eno and Kyler is a stronger correlation.
Yes. And I don't know. James Conner, I think I'm like at 7% on this site. But
I was taking him for you ever get this thing where another guy getting more expensive makes you take less of a guy? Like when it was James Conner or Ezekiel Elliott, I was taking Conner on like hero RB teams a lot. But now that I can take ETN, I'm never taking Conner and I'm just taking ETN. Even though I could have gotten ETN cheap, it makes no sense. It's one of those mental gymnastics things.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some things I've had to revisit where it's like, why am I really fading this player? Or Akers free falled. Okay, so this guy just went naked. And honestly, whatever.
I told it's not naked because he can get Rondale and Ertz.
Murray versus all right, let me ask a name to you right now. Do you want to do actually let's push it one round.
I want to take Drake London.
You want to take Drake? Over Thielen?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Why if I'm not taking, what do you just go 5th overall?
What about Schultz?
No, Schultz is like one of the worst picks in fantasy football.
Had 800 yards, I think he could easily get that 15 points per game.
What if I told you?
What percentage of the time do you think Schultz outscores Pitts in a season? Healthy.
15-ish. Maybe.
I'd put it at closer. Someone tell me Schultz's Qbert. Pull up Schultz's season long prop. I would bet it's like a 40% clip.
Dalton Schultz is like a loser, dude.
Why are you the Cowboys fan hating on Schultz is not something I thought.
It's like Dalton Schultz is a 4th round pick. He's 26. He just has been a blocker and just kind of ran hot last season due to a combination of things. The offensive line is going to be worse, so the tight ends are going to be asked to block more. I think the Cowboys are just going to be worse. I think they're unquestionably going to be worse substituting Amari out for a 3rd round rookie.
How many yards did you project Dak to throw for, and how many did you project Atlanta's combo to throw for?
I can pull it up.
You could just roughly do it to you. I don't need to.
I would guess I have it like 3,700, 4,500 if I had to go look.
Both of them are within 200 yards of each other?
No, 3,700 for the Falcons and like 4,500 for the Cowboys, if I had to guess.
Okay, and then are you going to be surprised if Schultz is the 2 until Gallup comes back in that offense?
Yes.
Schultz, 5.5 touchdowns, 700 yards, 64 receptions compared to...
I would bet the under on the receptions.
The receptions is where I feel like best about.
So I have the Falcons for 3,775 passing yards. I have the Dallas Cowboys for 4,600 passing yards. I have Dalton Schultz projected for a 15% target share, roughly 87 receptions, 630 yards. I have Kyle Pitts for... Shit. Are we about to pick?
No, we got some time.
Okay, I got Kyle Pitts for a 23% target share.
Read the private chat I sent you real quick because there's a player I want your...
And so I have Kyle Pitts for 23% target share, 130 targets, 903 receiving yards, and 7.7 receiving touchdowns. That's heavy. I'm going to tweak that right now.
Qbert says Schultz is projected to get 20 fewer points over the whole season in fantasy.
Yeah, but you gotta account for the range. And like there's
I agree with you, but like
It's like this is one of those conversations that feels reasonable from a median, but then when Kyle Pitts goes out and is like the 3rd overall pick next year, everyone's like, yeah, that totally
No,
makes
I agree
sense.
with you. That is in Pitt's range and never in Schultz's range. However, I like Schultz a lot this year, and it is a bit.
I would like Schultz if he was going after Hawkinson. Let's take Dameon Pierce.
All right, we're gonna take Dameon Pierce, taking advantage of the unupdated ADP here.
Yeah.
Um,
Dameon Pierce went at the 3-4
worse
turn
on
at my main event
drafters in
last
some
night.
ways because it is total points. It's not playoff format to be taking these big risers, but whatever. We're doing it on a team here because he legitimately goes in like the 4th, 5th round on some of these teams.
He went in the 3-4 in my main event last night.
I was never drafting any Marlon Mack because Marlon Mack was not good when he was on the Colts.
Yeah.
There were, Pierce over Pollard is like, oh, it's tough. I mean, but Pierce for, so do you view Schultz worse that Cooper's been shipped out or better?
Worse. I think it's a lot easier for a guy who runs his route type to do his thing when Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup are out there roaming around. If the week 1 wide receiver group, if Gallup is not back and Tolbert is not ready, if we're talking about CeeDee Lamb, Semi Fehoko, and Noah Brown as the 11 personnel for the Cowboys, I do not think that is bullish for Dalton Schultz. I think that is bearish for Dalton Schultz.
Counterpoint, if the Cowboys do have a bad O-line with their tackle out, the checkdowns to the tight end are pretty easy.
The Cowboys are elite at throwing to the running backs.
And you could throw anyone running a go route, and it will take safety coverage. You do not need Amari Cooper running the go route. You could have me running the go route, and they have to respect it. I think we either go Gibson or Olave.
I'm good. I'm good with Gibson. What do we have for?
Do you like Penny more or Gibson?
I like Penny more in I like Penny more in like fast start situations. I like Penny a lot in the FFPC main event where like if you're 0-4 and you're not scoring points, you're kind of dusted. I don't care really.
I think it's like it's hard. Penny could smash, but Gibson.
I'm not that worried about Penny like smash. I think like more smashes are in the range for Gibson because the Seahawks are going to be the worst team in the NFL.
I think they're going to be. I agree with you there, but you don't need to be on a good team at running back if, like, I mean, we took Dameon Pierce. Like,
yeah, but he also is like Dameon Pierce. Like, theoretically, we can dream on him getting some passing down work. Rashad Penny had 8 targets last year.
I also don't stress these round 4, round 6 quarterbacks on this site because we can easily double tap Carr, Cousins, Stafford.
Yeah, but they're going to be unstacked though.
That doesn't matter as much for the site, and you can backstack everyone except Carr.
Yeah, Carr.
Really, and then you could grab 2 in this range. Dak, I guess this tackle news has people shook. I really do not understand why he's fallen.
Well, it matters.
Yeah,
Dak has shown himself to be a quarterback who is very sensitive to the quality of player that he's playing with. When he's missing wide receivers, when he's missing linemen, he tends to be pretty sensitive in terms of results on that. And that makes sense, right? He was a 3rd round pick. He's very athletic, but not the best decision maker, not the most accurate quarterback in the world. So that makes sense to me.
So this range, I think we either take a 5th and final running back because there's
I think we take a wide receiver to set up for a backdoor stack.
Well, that's the thing is like I like wide receivers kind of like whatever. I can
You don't like Traylon? You don't like Claypool?
I'll do Traylon only, but I mean, I don't know. Like Patterson, we could be Patterson done, Cook done. All right, that's cool. I'm cool with Traylon. I'm in on Traylon. I think we could easily look back. That could be like one of the most obvious things. Like people were afraid of a 32-year-old Woods off injury.
Nick afraid of Nick Westbrook-Akine.
An undrafted free agent, Nick Westbrook-Akine, and Austin Hooper. It's like
And
They don't.
if you heard people talk about Traylon Burks, you would think that this guy was like the next John Baldwin or AJ Jenkins or Derrick Rod. Like they have already declared his career over.
Yeah, and he literally only needs to be like 60% of AJ Brown. You know, like where I don't know. They have to throw the ball to someone. I guess Malik Willis could be. Have you been adding any Malik Willis shares late on any of your teams?
No, but in all my dynasty leagues, I'm trading for him right now. I just traded away Justin Fields for Malik Willis in a first. I just took Malik Willis at 13th in a single quarterback in the 13th round in a single quarterback startup.
When I get locked out a late quarterback on DK, sometimes I add Willis because I have been going like Ritter Mariota combos, but now sometimes I go like Mariota Willis or all right. So let's take our flavor of choice at quarterback.
Rodgers, because we can get Watson, Watkins, Cobb.
All right, yeah, much easier to backstack than backstack.
You got to take Mac Hollins and Foster Moreau and Amir Abdullah.
Well, you could just take, I mean, you don't really need Carr stacked because his pieces are so expensive, you know, where you prefer it, obviously. Like, I like Carr to have more fantasy points than Rodgers, but, you know.
Probably not, right?
How many yards did you project Carr for?
A lot more than normal, probably.
I mean, it's hard to project efficiency. Like, projections are not going to hit the.
And my stuff is also, I mean, I didn't build it. Our devs built it. I just do the inputs, right? So like some of it, I have like no, like it is updating based off of like performance. So it's going to be a lot better in terms of like rates and stuff in season. I have Derek Carr projected for too low. I need to up his passing attempts. I have them. I have them too. I have him for 4,100 yards right now. I need to change that.
I think they're better than the Broncos on offense.
I don't think they're better than the Broncos on offense, but it would not surprise me if that was true. Like I think at median, as I expect them to play right now, I think the Broncos are better. But that is a strong take weekly held.
Yeah. And Renfro's a guy who we could again be wide receiver 15, and we're like, God damn it! Like
I would be very surprised by that.
Have you seen these like clips of like
if they
talking about him, and he's like, Hunter Renfrow is a dog, and
I mean he does have that dog in him, no doubt about that. Hunter Renfrow has that dog in him.
Like he could score 10 touchdowns just because the routes he runs, like he always is open in the end zone. I don't know, but there's players like Renfrow that you can get late.
I mean, it's like Mac Hollins. Cousins is not backdoorable.
Do you want to go White and be done?
No, why don't we take
or Fields?
Yeah, Fields gives us a little bit of upside, right? Rodgers
that's 2 week 14 quarterbacks. You want to go 3?
Well, we're gonna take 3.
Okay,
we're gonna take Pickett or Wentz.
If Fields had a week 13 bye, I would say let's stop at 2.
Yeah. Okay. I just tweaked my stuff a little bit, and I've got Carr up to 4,500 yards, which feels much more accurate.
I mean, he threw for like 4,800. We were expecting the defense to be bad again, and I think he just ran cold on touchdowns last year. And Devontae Adams should fix that.
Well, or a healthy season of Waller should fix
exactly.
that.
Yeah, that too.
That's what I think is under discussed about the Renfrow stuff is him and Waller are going to occupy the same part of the field, and they are working on a mega contract extension. I'm not shading Hunter Renfrow. I think Hunter Renfrow is really good, and I think there are some obvious reasons why we are predisposed to think he is maybe a one-year wonder or whatever. I think he's solid, but Waller and Adams are like. Adams is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Waller is maybe the best receiving tight end in football.
Well, Kyle Pitts, you have to say, was he's a wide receiver, but
yeah. I mean, Waller is better than Pitts is right now. Yeah.
You know, Fields, I don't know. It's like I have some shares of him. You know, always take shares of Konami quarterbacks. Could smash, could fall in his face.
Buddy, he looked good.
He did look
in
good
the
again.
preseason, which I was expecting him to look. He looked so bad. Well, he looked so bad in the first preseason game. And so it was like anytime Fields does something, it's not even so much a reminder for me. It's like I want the team to remember that he can do that shit. You know what I mean? It's like I want his coaches to remember.
Are you cool
gone?
with Dubs here?
Yes, I'm cool with Dubs here, but is Komet gone?
Yes.
Okay.
Or Dobbs, or I don't know how to say his name.
It's Dobbs, but
do not listen to me for how to pronounce names.
Dubs sounds cooler.
Dub sounds cooler. Like you're throwing up that dub.
No, Dubs is cooler.
I'm
finally running this filter I meant to run earlier of rookie fantasy points per game.
What do you mean?
Because we were talking about Waddle earlier.
Oh yeah. So what did he average? Like 17 or something? Something really nice. He kind of it's such a fine line of benefiting from competition, and then like he benefited from a lack of speed on the offense from everyone else.
Sure.
Except for Gesicki, right?
Yes, I suppose. But he also had 15.3 fantasy points per game, which is like, as a rookie, which is better than Keenan Allen, better than AJ Green, better than that legendary Juju season, better than Keyshawn Johnson, better than Mike Williams, like better than CeeDee Lamb, better than AJ Brown, better than Tyreek.
Well, how many of those guys got Tyreek Hill to be next to them the next year?
I think that's bullish. I'm choosing to view that as a bullish indicator.
Yeah, no, it could be. It could, and also,
I mean, almost everything in fantasy football is like from a certain point of
Dolphins
view, right?
Could be a 13-win team. They could be a 7-win.
A 7-win team. Yes, yeah. Totally. I think so much of it depends on like is Tua good or not? And I think
the most actionable cuts was Sony Michel.
Yes, Mostert.
Mostert's been going in like the 10th sometimes in drafts now. People are in there.
Yeah,
I have some Mostert, not as much as I would like, I think.
I have a 16-team dynasty league with 30-man rosters, so like you can imagine how fucking disgusting it is. And I play with all these boomers as my dad and his buddies. We've been doing it for like 15 years. And I have I have like 8 of the top 15 dynasty wide receivers. Like I can't start Mike Evans in this league. He's not good enough. But Raheem Mostert is my running back 1 because these boomers every year. I got Treylon Burks at the 15th overall pick.
You want to go Watson or Osborne?
Watson for the stack.
Okay. Well, Osborne gives you 2 divisional games, and
Watson correlates.
Watson is the guy we could look back on, and he
fell so much, and it's like
smashes.
The 34th overall. I believe that's the highest a Packers wide receiver has ever been drafted since Rodgers was the quarterback.
We either just drafted the Packers wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, or the Packers wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4.
Well, for the first week of the season, we drafted their wide receiver 4 and 5. I would expect Watson to be a healthy scratch in week 1.
Seems like they're protecting him, man. Like he's been practicing. Like they want him to be a piece, I think. Week 17 does not help us for drafters where it's a cumulative points format.
Okay, Christian Watson was pick 34. The last wide receiver they drafted that high. Yeah, he is the highest drafted Packers wide receiver since Jordy Nelson was the 36th overall pick in 2008.
Oof. I got a couple guys I'd like to go here. Have you been watching Hard Knocks?
No.
This is my first year I've kind of watched.
No, I've never really. It's like I don't know. I don't. Hard
Knocks. Well, it's just Dan Campbell's such a pool, and also the Hard Knocks bump you're seeing in best ball drafts is like Amon-Ra is strictly bumping up because of Hard Knocks.
No, it's because he's good.
No, it's also Hard Knocks. Like you give one blurb. I wanted to go Njoku. I think we go Mostert. You cool with that?
We need a tight end. What's the tight end room looking like?
We're gonna go 4, dude.
We're not gonna go 4, but we can take Mostert.
Yeah, it's just like splitting hairs here.
Yeah, I don't love this zero tight end construction. I know you do.
I don't love
Although, I
it.
mean, it's like I like this better in the playoff sites where it's like all that matters is if you ping pong the tight ends correctly, like if the distribution is useful to you. But like we could be losing to Kelsey teams by like 100 points at tight end.
Okay, but like that's why I wanted to take Schultz. But when you don't want to take Schultz, this is what we end up with.
Buddy, Schultz is not different to me than fucking Tyler Higbee.
You are on crack.
No, I'm not.
No, I agree with you. Higbee
Dalton Schultz. So Dalton Schultz last season, everyone loses their mind. 78 receptions, 808 yards, 8 touchdowns. Tyler Higbee, all-time disappointing season last year, loses to him by 200 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, the Schultz shit is out of control. Is out. Tight end 6, 70th overall for this guy? No. He's Gary Barnage, dude. Remember Gary Barnage?
Hockenson and Goddard. You think
also Hockenson is just as bad, I think. If Hockenson was 15 picks cheaper, I'd be into him.
What about, let's get your tight end. What about Knox and Ertz?
Knox is a good price because Knox is going to play every down.
I have so much Knox.
Yeah, Knox is good. Ertz seems bad to me. They drafted his replacement. Rondale is they have no choice but to play Rondale.
What about this range?
This is the range where I take guys, right? This is where it's like
and
Higbee.
What I'm trying to say is like if you wait for the last 3 or 4 rounds, those guys are probably not that like okay. You can convince yourself on some names here. Komet,
yeah, they're not that different than Dalton Schultz. I agree.
Yeah, I mean you could convince yourself these guys aren't that different than Schultz.
Like, dude, you would be floored if Dalton Schultz had 1,000 receiving yards.
No, that's what I'm expecting.
That's what Liam. You're so full of shit,
dude. They franchise tagged him.
They franchise tagged him because Blake Jarwin had like a career-ending knee injury, and they can't go into the season with 2 UDFAs as their tight end. The Cowboys are in a horrible spot. The Cowboys are in a horrible spot money-wise, so they have to do all kinds of non-optimal money things. They just traded away Amari Cooper, who's making less than Christian Kirk, for a 5th-round draft pick because they are so hard up for salary cap money.
They're idiots. So let's take Tunyon.
Tunyon, yeah.
You know, the point is,
I'm a tight
end whisperer. I'm going to tell you historically.
Because you drafted because Noah Fant won you the stupid $1 million.
I miss on some running backs, but I've had some. You know, I had some. Who's the backup in Jacksonville now? Dan Arnold had quite a bit of him.
Dan Arnold is like the tight end 5 by all reports this year.
Well, I know this year.
Yeah, I know.
But last year he was a good pick. You know. Yeah, I think things got better, man. I'm okay being on.
I'm not saying I'm not.
He also used to be cheaper, to be clear. He used to go.
I'm not saying like it's like okay, like maybe like I guess maybe this is what I'm saying in general. I'm not gonna get I'm not losing $2 million this year because Dalton Schultz beat me. I just am not like of all the things there are to be worried about. I am not. I'm worried way more about like Ezekiel Elliott finding the fountain of youth and burying me than I am, or I'm worried about Derrick Henry burying me.
2 touchdowns week 17 against the Titans.
Yeah, but that is uncontrollable. I can't control for that.
Well, I looked at a crystal ball. I'm just telling you, you gotta have some vibes in the best.
Liam, I like doing shows with you because I agree with most of the guys I do shows with on lots of things. Like I disagree with Reeves too. Like we just play the game in such a different way. But I enjoy disagreeing with people.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, and I think generally we agree about most things, but there's some things that you and I.
Player takey stuff.
Let's skip on Hooper. I think we can.
Yeah, no point. Let's take Tannehill.
You want to do Tannehill or like?
Let's see. We can do Wentz. You like
we have
Wentz.
to go Tannehill.
Okay, sure.
But the thing that feels bad about Tannehill is week 14, where we need those points to win this contest. He could not be playing.
Yes. That's actually, I hadn't even made that connection. But yeah, Tannehill's way better in this format than in the playoff formats.
Yeah, no, but he's not for our team where we, like, you cannot take a 0-1 week and still win this contest, I think, at QB.
Yeah.
Unless literally everyone else is nutted on our team.
Oh, this is a good question for the champ. How many good picks out of your roster? What percentage have to be good picks to win $1 million? What's the lowest number?
I've been
That's
thinking
like,
about this a lot lately, and if you look back at my team, that is not a team full of stars, right? That
yeah,
won. Like,
yes.
let's talk about
I mean,
the stars.
Pete, and Bimeford were saying the same thing. They were looking at their team like it's kind of just a boring,
Dude,
like
I
nothing.
had like
Yeah,
Chase Claypool, Amari Cooper. Like, these were guys who were like not big. Like the stars on my team: Taylor, Chase, Josh Allen, and then you could, whatever. If you want to say Aaron Jones, Damian Harris, Amon-Ra, obviously, and Penny were stars late, but like it was
yeah.
not a
The
team.
Penny and Amon-Ra are why you won $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. And that speaks to like every round is important, but also it was not a team that was like you could conceivably last year have built a team that goes like
That was
Taylor.
nutted
Yeah,
out,
you
right?
could have had a team like Devontae Adams, Tyreek, Connor Fournette, Cup, Debo, Andrews. Now
Chase
we have to remember Chase. We have to remember last year, COVID hit the playoffs. Could happen again
and
this
the
year.
weeks right before the playoffs.
Yeah, like the COVID hit the
Keenan
playoffs.
Allen missed a game. Like a bunch of fantasy stars
Key
missed games.
injuries too
Yeah.
to Fournette and Connor, I
And
think.
I was also thinking about this. What percentage of sharp drafters were drafting dead teams because they were taking Fields and Lance? Like the correlation between people.
Dude, I had like 20% of both.
Well, I was just thinking about that yesterday. Like there were a lot of people I would consider sharp whose teams were dusted because they had Trey Lance on them.
Well, and that's what happens in these echo chambers is we all convince ourselves on one player, a la Pitts, and if that player busts,
we got to get a tight end.
I like Logan Thomas the most out of this group.
I like Mo Alley Cox the most.
But I would go Hooper to go with Tannehill if you want.
Sure, that's fine. Whatever.
You want to do Hooper?
Yeah.
And see who makes it back to us?
Sure.
I do not like Hooper straight up more than some of these tight ends. I like Conklin. I like Mo Alley Cox, man. Like, he's out on the field, but he's not catching any fucking balls.
What if he is though? I mean, what if? I mean, no Jack Doyle.
No. I mean, I'm just saying, like this preseason, like it seems like they're forcing looks to Alec Pierce. They want him to get some looks. Mo Alley Cox could do it.
Yeah, I mean, they totally know what they have in Mo Alley Cox, right? He does. Mo Alley Cox doesn't need to show. It's his 5th year with the team.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get back to Mo Alley Cox to close the point on your question. You might actually, for playoff format contests, you might not want to, like, if you have a super team, you're not unique.
Yeah, I disagree with this.
No. If you have a super team, you're competing against other super teams. And so from DFS perspective, whatever, like, yes, that team can win, but you need to have the best of the super teams. But if you can just,
that is no different theoretically than having the best shitty team. It is no different because you're
having like the team that can just make it, the team that can string along the stars.
Like
to be clear, I try to build super teams too.
I think you try to draft shitty teams. I think you try to draft as many shitty teams that can advance as possible.
I like to think my question with best ball always, okay, let's get a guy here. I mean, the overlapping buys at our tight ends.
I like Jonnu. Jonnu has been playing a ton.
I like Tyler Conklin straight up over both.
That's fine. Whatever. I'm not gonna go to the grave arguing with you about Tyler Conklin versus Jonnu Smith. Wide receiver is totally flat now. All the good guys are gone.
I think we got dusted there.
There's this unique dynamic now where all the best round 16 through 20 picks in every format are running backs now.
Yes, and also tight ends and quarterback. It's never wide receiver though.
Like you got to be done at wide receiver by like the 13th round.
There are some names I like on this list, and what are you trying to do with our last 2 picks? 2 wide receivers or 1 running back and 1 wide receiver?
Probably one of each. Yeah.
Or 1 wide receiver and another tight end if it's like literally dead area.
Yeah.
Or a little Malik Willis.
I'm bummed that I've been drafting Dearness Johnson a good bit the last couple weeks, and I'm bummed that it looks like they're just keeping all the guys. They're keeping Ford. They're keeping Dearness. They're keeping Hunt. They're keeping.
Let's see what happens at the trade deadline with that team. Don't you seem like they could be like a seller?
I mean, but the rumor has been this whole time that Kareem Hunt and Dearness Johnson weren't both going to make, because Dearness Johnson did not want to play on his restricted free agency tender.
Yeah, no, I mean, and also like Jerome Ford, I want to say, like that guy looked good too.
They spent a 4th round pick on him, and the Browns do not get rid of draft picks even if they suck. Like Anthony Schwartz sucks, but they spent the pick on him, so they're riding with him.
They have one of the best O-lines in the NFL, so drafting running backs from teams with the best O-lines in the NFL is always going to pay out well. Like, look, maybe Johnson's not the guy, maybe it's Chubb, maybe it's Hunt, whoever, but you should be taking pieces on the best O-line for teams that are going to need to run the football. They're not going to go into any game and be like, we're going to win a shootout.
No, I mean, I get it, and I still like those guys, but I'm not going to be taking them like every time. Also, wind out of the sails on Eno too, because Daryl made the team.
Still there,
yeah.
But that's a guy like that's what I'm saying. Like
they kept five. They kept 5 running backs
like
too
on Tuesday, but they could cut Daryl.
I thought yesterday at 4 p.m. Well, yesterday at 4 p.m. you just had to be down for 53, but your week 1 roster didn't need to be finalized, I guess.
A lot of people have said that like things change. They cut veterans to try to add them back. They do injury report stuff. So if we go running back here, I have a name that we should take, and that is Hilliard.
Yeah, I like Amir Abdullah more.
You don't like the correlation, the pass down guy with Tannehill?
I just know, because they're another team that's like, we don't know if he really is the guy. Zach Moss too, if you want to take
I'm more convinced Hilliard than Abdullah, but I do draft both.
All right, let's take Hilliard. Whatever, it correlates.
It correlates. He should be the third. It will not surprise me if Hilliard catches 4 balls to start the season, like week 1, and then also contingent value.
Yeah.
It also, like, look, I cooled off on taking Haskins, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's the dude too.
Julius Chestnut.
Julius Chestnut, sure.
It's like literally the first time I heard that name, I was like, that's not real. Like someone's pranking me.
Davis could use a nap. Hey man, it's hard work grinding these best ball streets.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's that point of the year, bro. I had big burn. I feel burnt out.
I had big burnout a week ago, and I'm going to hate my life doing 10 DKs at the same time. But this new monitor, it's going to pick me up. And
I've been like since I got back from the honeymoon, I've been like totally back on like my health and like mental well-being shit. Like I'm meditating every day. I'm doing the sauna. Like I'm trying to take care of my brain enough to get me through this last little bit, just because it's fucking like and obviously no one.
I'm close there, but because part of my chess channel is gonna be like a fitness kick too, where I just legitimately believe that's good for your life, and I've not been really working out too much, but I was sick. I'm feeling better now. I feel like I'm coming close here. All right, so let's we're gonna slam a wide receiver on this team.
Yeah.
I have some names I like. Let's not mention anyone until
I think there's one clear name. I'm interested to see if you have the same guy.
Okay.
I already disagree with the guy you were gonna say, and I think my guy's better.
There's 2 names I like. I would like to go, and we're gonna have to talk about this quick. I would like to go Aguilar.
Oh, okay. Aguilar is who I wanted. I thought you were gonna say Kyle Phillips, and I was gonna have to argue for Aguilar.
Phillips makes sense from correlation, but I mean, I don't know, man. But I think we should do Aguilar.
Aguilar spike weeks, bro.
Spike weeks could be the one. Who fucking knows with that team? All right, dude. We just drafted $250,000 if Tannehill's still playing week 14, which I have my doubts, but could happen.
Could happen. Crazier things have happened.
Let me print screen this, and I'll send it to a tweet to you so we know what this squad looks like. Or I'll send it in the DMs to you. What do you want to tell the people, Davis, until we get out of here?
I would say You are much more likely to have regrets by not drafting teams right now than just take like. I know it is you're getting I'm getting tired, bro. I'm yawning on the stream, but this like 15 days of the year that we're in right now where we know who is on the team and who's not on the teams and we have depth charts and it looks like there's going to be overlay in everything other than maybe the DK $5.
I don't know. Dude, have you been looking at my tweet with me updating the overlay?
Yes.
DK's not gonna overlay. Underdog, this weekend is just
Underdog will not meet the traditional definition of overlay, which is your rake is paid. But I don't know if they're going to get to 100% full.
I'm not sure either, but they're doing like 1% a day right now. And the weekend could really.
And I wonder if they do like a promotion, like if you draft 5 teams, get a team free, something like that. You know.
Yeah, there's gonna be, dude. They're like the
yeah.
influencers.
What if Nelson Aguilar is the guy you need weeks 1 through 14? I've kind of been drafting that way. I've been like once it became clear that like once Tyquan Thornton got hurt, my immediate response was Aguilar's the only guy on that roster who can do the same job.
I still think Tyquan's a good pick for playoff formats. It's the same thesis of me drafting Jeff Wilson post-injury last year. Like, he's going to play football this year. But, like, he's been drafted at a high clip anyway, so you're not getting that unique. On your closing point, I really agree if you have the financial funds and you're just experiencing burnout from your use of time. Like,
yeah, I mean, obviously don't fucking take out.
But if you're like, do not feel like you're missing out and you need to get this action.
Yeah, don't go to SoFi and get a $10,000 loan to leverage yourself on best ball tournaments. I would not recommend that.
No, that's not what Davis was saying.
This is my job, and I like if I lose, I can write a lot of this stuff off. So don't do what I do.
And I won $1 million last year, or this year.
How tilted are you going to be if you lose money on best ball season this year?
Dude, I could lose a lot of money on best ball season. Let me tell you that. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long you have been gambling. It's like sometimes you feel like a really experienced gambler to me, but then it's like you also think you have this insane edge in best ball, which I think you probably have a little bit of an edge, but not nearly as much of an edge as you.
Yeah,
your on-air persona.
I'm an optimist. I'm incentivized to gamble this year, tax reasons.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
You know, like
and brand reasons, right?
And Davis, you need to understand something about me. I try to write Disney stories, right? We're trying to sell us. You know, like if this was poker and I won, I would have been set for life. I would have been staked forever. Best ball takes a little bit more. Got to go back to back.
Totally different.
Like, I'm trying to ship the DK 555 for $250K. Like, that seems feasible enough. Got some good teams in there. Half of the teams are auto drafted. And so it's just like, I'm going to IKB that. Shipping a Millie Maker, we're going to try, brother. But, you know, that's obviously tough. But, you know, I gamble responsibly too. And who knows, you know, Bink the Millie Maker week 1 DraftKings. We're set. We're set for the year.
Straight to the top of the charts.
Straight to the, you know, like imagine the engagement on that, man.
I literally cannot.
To end the season and then start the season, woo! We're trying to write Disney stories. All right, Davis, it's been a ton of fun doing these drafters with you, man. Hopefully you guys have been eating this overlay. We may or may not do one next Wednesday. I might be in Vegas. I might be in England. Davis and I and Kyle Dvorak are going to be doing a main event on Tuesday. We might stream that. We might just do a pre-recorded video. We'll talk about that.
I'm good. I have not streamed a main other than with Pete and Pat.
Yeah, I'm indifferent.
I think it's good. I think it's good both ways. Like, I mean, obviously you can't broadcast your picks or anything.
You have to be a little bit more nuanced.
You got to be a little bit more nuanced. Whereas, like, I did one last night with Evan and Pat and Reeves and JJ, and we could just be like, we want to take this guy. And we can set our queue. And
yeah, and the other thing is, like, when you're streaming, sometimes people just want to take a pick to fuck with you just because they think it's, like, funny.
Yes.
You know, like you don't have to worry about that pre-recording. Anyways, guys, make sure to please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Davis's pod if you're listening to this on audio. And not sure how much content I'm going to do week 1 DFS. Maybe I'll do some reviews if I hit it big and just disappear if I do not do well. No, just kidding.
We won't see him. We won't. He's out.
Yeah. All right, Davis, any closing thoughts from you before we tell the people goodbye for now?
Dalton Schultz is overdrafted. Don't forget.
Oh my God. As a Cowboys fan too, man. Like you could have this is your CEH of last year. You could have attached your brand to a no-brainer. Because here's the thing, dude. Just like running back, opportunity matters at tight end. And who else could you say has the opportunity of a lifetime than Dalton Schultz facing an injured Michael Gallup,
Jalen
Tolbert, who could be legitimately bad?
Jalen Tolbert has the opportunity of a lifetime.
Sure, maybe, but maybe it's Schultz who you're getting it at tight end. Anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Dalton Schultz, you should draft in 100% of drafts. Peace out.